Live templates are pre-built bits of code that are associated with abbreviations. To use a live template, type the abbreviation and then press the Tab key. I've previously demonstrated a couple of live templates that are already defined in Android Studio. For example, if you want to display a toast message, type toast and then press Tab, and that expands to a toast message template. I can then press Enter or Return, and the cursor lands between a pair of quotes, and I can type the string that will be displayed on screen. I'll type my message and press Enter or Return again. I also demonstrated the use of a constant template. This is typically declared as a field in a class, so I'll move the cursor after the class declaration and type const, and then press Tab, and that expands to a field typed as an integer marked with private, static, and final. The only thing I need to provide is the name, and I'll give it a name of myConst. And notice that as I type, the numeric value is changing. It's being randomized. The idea for this particular live template is that the particular value doesn't matter. What matters is that I have a constant value that I can refer to multiple times. Live templates are defined in your Preferences or Settings. Go to your Preferences or Settings dialog, then go to the Editor category to Live Templates. The templates for Android are in 3 different sections. Here's the live template that I demonstrated for constants, and here's the one for toasts. You can look at how these are structured to get some ideas about how you might want to create your own. And you can, in fact, create your own live templates. You'll find live templates in the Android section, in the Android Comments section, and in the Android Log section. The ones in the Android Log section are particularly useful because they let you quickly add logging output for debugging purposes. I'll come back here, and I'll add a bit of code right here. I'll type log I, and then press Tab, and that expands to a call to the I method of the log class. And then I can type in any string I want. The tag constant doesn't exist, and so I'll move the cursor right after it and use an intention action and say create the constant field tag. I'll press Enter to move over, and then I'll add a literal string of main activity. If I don't like the name of that variable, I can change it easily by refactoring it. I'll move the cursor into it and press Shift F6, and I'll rename it log tag. And notice that I'm changing both the declaration and the usage at line 30. One of the most common things you typically do in Android is get a reference to a text view component and then display some text with it. This is so common that it can be useful to add your own live template. I'll go to the XML layout file for this activity, and the XML layout file already has a text view component. I'll add an ID attribute, and I'll give it an ID of my text view. Then I'll come back to the main activity class, and I'll add a bit of code here. I'll create a reference to the text view that I'll name TV, and I'll call findViewById and pass in r.id.myTextView. And then I'll cast the findViewById method's return value to the data type text view, and now that's a complete valid statement. Then I'll say tv.setText, and I'll pass in a literal string of some text. Now, let's say that I wanted to turn that into a live template. I can select the code, then go to the menu and select Tools, Save as Live Template, and I'll give it an abbreviation of TVOut for output to a text view. And I'll make some changes in the template text. I'll get rid of any extra tabs, and then I'll change the ID that I'm looking for from my text view to a variable of resource ID. The name of the variable can be anything you want, but it's wrapped in dollar characters. I'll also get rid of any prefixes before the letter R, and then I'll change the literal string for some text to another variable of output text. Next, I need to make sure that this code will be applicable in Java. Because of the way I created the live template, it will be already, but I'll show you how to change it. If you click the Change link, you'll get a listing of the contexts in which this template would be valid. The default is in Java statements and expressions. I'll leave that as is and click OK. And now, if I want to use that bit of code, I can type TV out, and then tab, and then the cursor would move to the first variable location. I can press Control Space and choose my text view, then press Enter or Return, and then I would land in the next variable location, and I'd be able to type in my string. I'll get rid of this previous version, and now that I've added the live template, I can use it anywhere in my app. So live templates are great to speed up your coding. Android Studio comes predefined with a number of live templates, but you can add your own by prototyping the code and then adding that code as a custom live template in your configuration of Android Studio.